Hi, I'm Nolan Bushnell, and this is Dr. Leah Hanes, and we're going to talk today about screen time and your kids. And right now, there are a lot of parents that are struggling with what do we do with our kids that are much more happy with screen time on their iPad, on their parents' phones, or what have you, as opposed to going out and running around the yard and playing baseball and Red Rover and all the stuff that we did as kids. I think that the question that should be asked is what kind of a world are the young ones going to grow up to experience? Dr. Leah, do you have anything to pontificate on that?
Well, I'm a big believer in keeping them off screens until they're past two, and past two, uh, I think little bits at a time. Because the point you made about what we want them to experience are some of the physical play that we had as children. And not just because, well, we had it, so we want them to have it, but we want them to be well rounded. We don't want their whole life to be in front of a screen. We want them to eventually uh, have physical things that they do that are as enjoyable as the online uh, properties. And right now, that's a bit of a challenge because the video games are spending a lot of money to keep the kids engaged and keep them interested. And the outdoor play with each other, that requires that the child's own imagination be at play. And we want that to evolve. So I'm really sympathetic to the parents' issues around screen time, because it is, you don't want to be the bad guy all the time. You don't want to be the one always taking their screens away from them, but helping the kids understand the importance of a well-rounded life, a full experience, and what that means.
I'm actually more equivocal than you are. Like, in my life, I'm probably on screens 90%. Like, I have a Peloton, and I'm on a screen when I'm on a treadmill. I'm on a screen when I'm on a stationary bike, and so the question becomes one of what is a rounded life, and is the rounded life of the future going to be the same as one I had? I don't think even close.
Yeah, it's a good point. But what do we do about nature? What do we do about the amount of time that you would have had, I had as a kid, where there just wasn't a lot of external stimulation coming at us. So we were imagining, we were creating, we were fantasizing about what our life was going to be like. And I think we were pretty happy as kids.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like to say that I was the most interesting thing that was happening in my childhood was school, because the alternative was watching the river flow and the corn grow, you know? And and see, now that's been turned on its head today, because school's the least interesting thing that's happening, because everywhere you turn there's media that has millions of dollars, whether it's movies, whether it be, TV, or whether it be video games. It's flipped, and so all of these other things are more interesting than school. And that's one of the one of the things that we at ExoDexa are trying for, is to create games that are not just fun, but that are good for you, that build your brain. And my kids learned a lot from video games and the civilization. They learned a lot about history. I mean, one of my sons got so carried away with steppe nomads because of 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 the age of empires. You know, who knows what this world of the future of ours is going to be? And I think that no matter what happens, screens are going to be a part of that future. And can our kids separate good screen time from bad screen time? Not very well, but
Not
I
yet.
think we can help them. And I think we need to be content curators for our kids.
Hmm.
And
That's a
a,
really good
a
point.
blanket no, I think, is not acceptable.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you that the world that our kids are inheriting is going to become very, very different from the world that we were experiencing our childhood in. I hope that we're able to find ways that encourage movement and engagement uh, with nature outside of a screen,
Yeah.
and where we can, build forts and build something to cross a stream. Like those are the early engineering experiences that, growing up on a farm, those were the things that you tackle. How do we get from here to the other side? Well, we need to build something, or we need to fill this path up, or we roll some rocks in the way. But I think also, when we talk about the school day and what the school day would look like in an ExoDexa world, the it's not as though, okay, it's physical education and you're all going to play basketball. It would just be like, here, the next 40 minutes are going to be about movement. So you can go to the gym and dance, or you can go to the basketball court and play basketball. You can run on the track if you'd like. There are any number of things that can be done that are all in service of keeping your body as healthy as it can be, so that your mind can absorb the information that we're bringing in.
And maybe you can go into VR and play Beat Saber. I know that a lot of people are saying that's one of the best all body exercises you can get.
I certainly enjoy it. My son and daughter-in-law gave me a MetaQuest 3 for my birthday, so I have been spending some time in Beat Saber lately. I'm not sure
What
when they're going to put the competition for age ranges together, but I'm ready for it.
what do you like? You know, I mean, think a lot of people that are watching this probably have not ever experienced Beat Saber. Tell us a little bit more detail about it.
So what I love about Beat Saber, first of all, the music. I mean, it's almost like dancing, because you've got these blocks coming toward you. They have an arrow. The blocks are either red or blue, and they have an arrow pointing in whatever the direction. And you have a Beat Saber or a lightsaber in your hand, and you have to hit the block in the direction of the arrow with the right colored lightsaber. So I have a red and blue lightsaber. There are red and blue blocks. And so I'm ducking to get under them. I'm moving to get out of the way of walls that are coming at me. So there's just a whole lot of movement, and the music is there. So I'm moving with the music, and you're competing with yourself. So I know my total number for how many points I get for hitting that block in the right direction on time, because if it gets too close to you, you lose points. So I'm really competing against myself all the way through it.
But
So
it's
that's
fun. That's the point.
it's fun. I
Engaging.
want to do it because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
And
happens to be good exercise.
and we know that the mind body experiment, that if you are active, you learn better. I mean, John Ratty's book Spark, talks about his research on that, and he was a MD from Harvard that basically did a whole bunch of exercise related prescriptive things to people, and he was able to cure depression, you know, PMS, and a lot of things just through simple exercise, and was able to increase the outcome, the on standardized tests, for school districts by a standard deviation. I mean, that's big stuff.
It really
And
is.
so exercise is important, but augmented with screens may not be so bad.
I can't argue that either, Nolan. I mean, I work with a whole lot of people who are half my age who have grown up with video games and work in video games. A couple of your sons among them who have just, have made a very good living for themselves based on a childhood passion that they've been able to keep going. So I often apologize to my son for telling him to get off his video games and do his homework.
Great fun. Okay, till next time, this is the definitive discussion of screen time.
Thanks all.